Hey YouTube, so on today's episode, what we are going to be talking about is actually how you can be the very best dog owner your dog could ever wish for when things heat up. Now, we chose to talk to you about this, and as we chose to talk to you about it, the sun disappeared, the clouds came over.
The first thing you do when it gets hot, talk about it, and you know what? Problem solved.
Yeah,
problem solved.
So the answer to dealing with a hot day is actually
to
talk about it disappears, okay? Or, you know, stick your sunglasses on, the sun
will disappear.
Away.
Definitely take your top off and we're done. That is it. That is it. So keep your top on, Tom.
That's it.
So loads of different strategies. And I think most of all, recognising the signs that actually it is going to be hotter. Your dog is getting hot. What you are doing, what you're not doing, what you could be doing, what you should be doing, what's available to you.
Yeah.
This is all of the information that we want to deliver to you today, YouTube, because we know that this makes a difference to dogs worldwide.
Yeah, absolutely. So our first tip for you is the evening and the morning, they're going to be cooler than, say, if you go out at midday. And so the first thing that we think about is when are we going to be going outside with our dogs, and also where are we going to be going? Obviously, there are some situations that are going to be hotter than others. If you walk around a city centre, that tarmac is going to be way hotter and there's going to be no shelter. Instead, if you walk around woodland on a hot day, actually that's going to be much cooler. It's naturally much cooler. It's naturally much more shaded.
Going to be much more appropriate for your dog.
Yeah.
And I think, just like Tom's said there, woodland versus town, again, maybe walking where there are a few water spots, a few spaces where your dog can get in and out of in the shade effectively, and actually giving your dog ample opportunity to be able to work out how to keep themselves cool and help them. Your dog does not always make the best decisions by themselves. You can help them with this just in where you choose to go, how you choose to walk, and where you choose to allow them the opportunity to practice what they're doing on that day.
Yeah, absolutely. So next tip that we've got for you, this is a little bit of a weird one, but it will make sense. I'm a vet. I see a lot of dogs that have, you know, suffered with the heat, and they're in an emergency situation because they have overheated. Now, consistent across all of those dogs often is that the owners have driven somewhere, they've gone for a big hike where they end up being really far from the vehicle in which they came, and what they notice is that their dogs are starting to struggle, their dogs are starting to pant, but because they're halfway through the walk, they've got no way of getting back to that vehicle quickly, so they carry on. Now, what we've got to think is we often know when we need to actually look after our dogs and take them out the heat, but if we put ourselves in a situation where we're unable to make great choices for them, then it's difficult. So my advice would be, actually, when you go somewhere, make sure you're staying near an exit route, whether that be, you know, near your car that you go in or around your house. Don't go for a big, you know, 1 hour walk in one direction and then think, oh God, I've got 1 hour to get back.
My tip would lead on really nicely from Tom's, and that would be go out prepared. So when you go out, say you are going to go out for that hike, and ideally not the few hours away from the car, at the same time, take with you your prep. So your prep might include something like a pop-up water bowl, something that you can actually enable your dog to take a drink, is lightweight, and you're going to be able to have that in your bag or carry it safely with you. For our dogs, we have a hydration drink. So our dogs have Fresh Canine. It's a hydration drink. It allows them to replenish all of the things they lose when actually they're going through either hard exercise, or we want to give them back some of that fluid that they maybe don't want to drink. And it's very, very palatable, right, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. We've all been in those situations where we offer our dogs something to drink, and we know that they want to drink.
Good.
And yet we know that they need to drink.
That wasn't quite what I was intending. Up here is fine. Up here is fine. Now,
and yet they don't take the drink.
You can see it's very palatable. I wasn't intending her to stand on the table, but there we go.
She's stepped up to the demo.
They say never work with, is it dogs and children?
I think it is.
There we go.
And here we are.
And you can see that she's quite happy to drink that. I think she'd be quite happy to drink all of that. But again, that would lead to my next tip. Little and often, not one big, huge sort of downpour. What we're looking for is actually, is she able to replenish and at the same time not necessarily put herself in a position where she's going to have taken in too much?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Fresh Canine, it's a hydration drink that we developed. It's got some calories in there, but
very
not
clean.
so very
clean.
It's past the taste test.
Classic.
It's got some calories in there for energy, but not so much that your dog's going to put on weight by giving your dog this. It's very, very palatable for those hot days, for those days when you're exercising your dog, for those days when maybe you're working your dog if you've got a working dog, and it's got electrolytes in there as well. As a loyal Absolute Dogs TV YouTube subscriber, if you head to a-OK9, you can get your pouch of fresh canine. This literally lasts us forever. We have it in our cars, and you can get the shaker bottles as well to make things on the move. And the cool thing is that we're going to give you 30% off for being a YouTube subscriber. And the way that you can get that is by using the coupon FRESH30. That's FRESH30, and you can get some of that, and then you're always prepared.
So I would take that with me out and about everywhere I go, whether I take it as a powder form or I just have my bottle so I'm ready to make it up at any point. That's something that I then have the choice and the flexibility to do. Whether I give it to a fit, active sports dog, or whether I'm looking at my friendly pet who actually just needs a drink on their daily sort of trips or hikes. Actually, it works in both ways, and with a convalescing dog who's maybe not wanting to take fluids and something to tempt them on a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, next tip that we've got for you is actually that the majority of the calories that your dog takes in on a daily basis, so the food that they eat, the calories in their food, it gets used on thermoregulation. So what we mean by that is keeping that body temperature at that, 38 degrees that a dog's body temperature would be, and that the calories that they consume are involved in keeping them nice and warm in cool environments. Now, of course, in warm environments, well, they don't need to spend so many calories on thermoregulation. So don't be surprised if actually your dog eats considerably less on a warm day, because they simply don't need the calories, and they're pretty efficient animals.
Now, one other thing that we would certainly suggest, guys, when you are out and about and considering walks with your dog is actively, does your dog need to come? Are you absolutely needing to take your dog on that trip? Because there are so many trips that you actively don't need to involve your dog. So like Tom alluded to earlier, mornings and evenings, fantastic times to walk your dogs during the real hot periods. Daytimes or midday heat, either choose woodland, or actually, how about walking without your dog?
Go for a walk by yourself.
Go for a wander, take yourself for a walk. Your dog doesn't have to come on each and every walk with you. I know that might sound a little crazy, but actually you'd be doing your dog a favour too. This would be doing them a ditch the routine good service. And that means that your dog doesn't, I had this instance just this morning. As I headed out the door, Tokyo really looked very sort of like he was about to push out the door, and I said, you know what, you can wait there. And then I said to Matt, I feel bad he's not coming. And Matt said, it's just good, it's a ditch the routine bank. You're putting one in the ditch the routine bank. So you're doing an active good service to your dog training. You're ditching the routine so your dog doesn't anticipate each and every time you leave that they are coming with you. It's a good thing.
Absolutely. So final tip that we're going to leave you with, it's a fun one. It's one that our dogs absolutely love. We prepare for it we always have this in the freezer ready for a hot day, and that is that we make effectively dog popsicles. Now, the way that you can do that is you can take some of your fresh canine, you can mix it into some water in your shaker bottle or mix it all together.
She's after some more. Not yet, not yet.
All you've got to do is pop it into an ice cube tray, and you've got ready-made, calorie-rich, electrolyte-rich ice cream ready for those hot days so that your dog can cool down.
And the cool thing is that actually, previous to us having fresh, I tried lots of different things that we could use, but so many of them are very, very high in calories. Like Tom said, there are calories, and at the same time, there's not too many, which is really nice. Equally, using that as a popsicle, it's something your dog could have in the kitchen, have in the garden, have in a space where maybe they're on a tiled floor or something like that. And our dogs absolutely love them. It's a fun treat. You could even add some veggies into it, and so you could add some little bits in there, so you end up with a nice chilled treat on a really warm day.
So with that, guys, take advantage of the coupon, which is FRESH30, that you can use over at a-OK9.com on the entire Fresh Canine range. That was our tips on really how we can take what could be a challenge of hot days, admittedly we've solved that today, and turn it into an opportunity. So with that, guys, if you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure to do so, and we'll see you next time. Remember, game changers, whatever the dog owning struggle, there's a game for that.
If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to our channel.
And check out our new 25-day online dog training challenge. Watch the videos, play the games, transform your dog owning struggles.
As a loyal YouTube subscriber, you can get a 70% discount through the link in the description below.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to the #1 most transformational dog training podcast on iTunes and Spotify, the Sexier Than a Squirrel podcast.
And remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more live teaching, video content and free training using the links in the description.